Hello, my dear friends. Welcome you all to another useful presentation from Easy Walk to English Grammar. Today, we are going to deal with the uses and the usages of being correctly in English sentences. It's an area which majority of the ESL learners treat to be confusing. And today, we are trying to find out a solution about how to use been correctly in English sentences. Are you ready? Welcome you all once again. The first and foremost thing that you need to know is that been is the past participle form of be. For better clarification, we can deal with this matter a little detail. The base form of be is be itself. The present tense form of be is, am, and are. The past tense form of be is, was, or were. The past participle form of be is, been. In order to understand this point clearly, you need to watch another video in our channel, Uses of be. If you are not familiar with these things thoroughly well, then please do watch that video. It will give you better comprehension related to this topic. Who is coming here? Yes, he is an athlete. Can we check his present appearance? His present situation? Come on, please. Oh, he has become old now. He is not that young athlete that we saw a little before. He has become old. And he can now say, I have been an athlete. I have been an athlete. What does it mean? He is not an athlete now, but he was an athlete. Then why did he use the present tense form of have plus been in this situation to remark a past happening or a past occurring? Because when he speaks this sentence, it has some importance or a relevance in the present situation. He has been an athlete. Nobody can deny it. When he was young, he was an athlete. And that topic, that sentence has an importance or relevance even in the present situation. In order to project that importance or relevance of something that happened in the past, we can use have been. I have been an athlete. Let me repeat it once more. Here, this person is not an athlete now, but he was an athlete. But when he speaks about that matter in the present time, it has an importance. In such a situation, we can use have been or has been according to the subject of the sentence. If you have any doubt in finding out subject, predicate, object, etc. of a sentence, please do watch the videos in our channel Easy Walk to English Grammar related to this topic, and you will be able to understand all the grammatical points very easily when or after you watched that or those videos. Let's check some more sentences. I have been in the USA means I'm not in the USA now, but I had been in the USA. But when I speak this sentence, it has some relevance or importance in the present context, so that I used the usage have been in this sentence. Coming to the next sentence, she has been a dancer. She has been a dancer. Like our athlete, she might also have become old now. In that case, she can say she has been a dancer. That context or that particular sentence has a relevance in the present context also. It may be necessary to tell that sentence now. That is what we meant by the terms relevance and importance. If we have some importance or relevance about certain incidents or state of being in the past, we can definitely use have or has according to the subject. Let's take another sentence. He has been the CEO of the company for 7 months. Here we can see the person referred to here is not the CEO of the company now, but he has been the CEO of the company for 7 months. Nobody can deny that fact. Still, it has some importance when we speak about that thing in the present context. In that case, definitely we can use has been because here he is singular. Hope you understood why we use have been or has been about something that happened in the past. When going for another example, they have been married for 50 years. In this sentence, there is a slight change from the previous sentences. Here, they are still married. In this sentence, it shows that they are still married. Okay, they have been married for 50 years because there is no hint that they are divorced or one of them has passed away. Such kinds of information is not given there. In that case, we can understand that they are living married still. They are married still for 50 years. In this sentence, we have to understand that thing, this marriage happened 50 years before, and the relationship is continuing up to the present. That is the sense being given by this sentence. I think you understood the meaning or the sense of all the sentences that we dealt with in this context. When you feel doubtful, please repeat to watch the video. Definitely you will be able to understand any complication if there is any. In view of the previous sentences, we can come into two definitions related to the use of have been or has been. The first one is a state of being in the past but which has relevance in the present time. Means we can use have been or has been to refer to a state of being in the past but which has relevance in the present time. That state of being is not now in the present time, but that that state of being has some relevance when we speak about it in the present time, some importance in the present time. In such cases, we can use have been or has been according to the subject. Dear viewers, if you would like to know more about state of being, you need to watch two more videos in this channel, Easy Walk to English Grammar. They are uses of be in English. That is one of the videos. And the other is main verb and auxiliary verb. If you watch both these videos, you will understand this matter rather clear. Coming back to our point here, the second definition can be like this. We can use have been or has been in order to refer to a state of being occurred in the past and continues to the present time. In the previous context, in the previous definition, that state of being is not now in the present time, but it has some relevance when we speak about it in the present time. In the second definition, that state of being is continuing from some past time to the present time. That's the difference. Hope you understood. Let me repeat it. You can understand this matter clearly well if you understood what state of being is. For that, you need to watch the previously mentioned two videos. Now, let's look into how to use had been in English. In this sentence, we had been in the USA for 5 years. We can see that here also we refer to a state of being in the past. But on contrary to the usage of has been and have been, here we are not referring to any state of being that has a relevance in the present time. We just refer to the relevance of the state of being in the past time itself. How can we understand that? Because we here clearly stated the time 5 years, for 5 years. We had been in the USA for 5 years. For that long 5 years, they had been in the USA. That matters here. But when we used has been and have been, that particular incident or state of being has an importance in the present time. Like I have been an athlete, I have been a dancer. Here things are different. Here we are referring to a past state of being itself, its relevance in the past, not in the present. In such situation, instead of has been and have been, we can use had been. I think you are okay with this point. If any doubt persists, please do watch the video repeatedly and you will be able to understand. You can overcome the complication that you feel now. Let's look into some other sentences where we can use had been. I had been in army for more than 15 years. Now I am an ex-serviceman. See the difference? He had been in army for more than 15 years. Something a state of being in the past. What is he now? He's an ex-serviceman. He has retired from his service. And we used had been to state that past state of being. Coming to the second example, I had been a teacher since 1964. Now I have retired. A past state of being of a teacher or as a teacher. I had been a teacher since 1964. She had worked as a teacher for a long number of years since 1964, but she's not a teacher now. She is retired. And we used had been to indicate that past state of being. Coming to the next example, my family had been in heaven when our grandparents were with us. My family had been in heaven. Here we used a metaphor. When the grandparents were alive, we felt that we lived in heaven. Now they have passed away. They are no more. And we feel loneliness, and our family does not feel that we are in heaven like in the past. The grandparents were our strength. Now we don't feel that strength, and we don't feel that we are in heaven. What matters here is we used had been to state that state of being. My family had been in heaven when our grandparents were with us. They are not now with us, so we are not indicating anything in the present. We are indicating a state of being in the past. And in these three examples, you can see that to indicate a state of being in the past, we used only had been. We did not use has been or have been in these three examples. When you compare and contrast these three examples related to had been and the previous examples related to has been and have been, you will be able to understand clearly why we used had been here and why we used has been and have been there. Once more, I request, please don't hesitate to watch the video repeatedly for better comprehension. And do watch the videos we mentioned a little before in order to understand the topic that we deal in this video clearly. Now we are moving on to the use of could have been. Are you ready? Oh, who is the dull-faced man here? What happened to him? I could have been a doctor. Yes, he could have been a doctor. What happened to him? If I had studied well. Oh, now it became clear. He did not study in the past. He did not study well in the past, and he cannot achieve his dream to become a doctor in his life. If he had studied well in the past, he could have been a doctor. That's the thing. That is why he is worried. He looks dull. I could have been a doctor if I had studied well. Speaking about an ability that could have achieved if something else would have happened. It's not possible in the life anymore. In such a situation, we can use could have been. Means if we have tried something in the past, we could have become something else in the present. To state that uh, probability in the past, possibility in the past that cannot be achieved any longer. He cannot become a doctor anymore. To state that inability in the present and the ability in the past we used could have been. I think this usage will be more clear for you when we deal with some more examples. The first sentence. I could have been the winner if I had run fast. I didn't run fast, so I cannot become the winner anymore. Some other person became the winner. I could have been the winner if I had run fast. If I had run fast, I would have been the winner. Now I am not the winner. Somebody else became the winner. And it's not possible to become the winner in this running race. Could have been, stating a past possibility. cannot achieve any longer. Coming to the next sentence, Ryan could have been the minister if he had contested in the election. Ryan could have been the minister if he had contested in the election. He did not contest in the election. Then how can he be the minister now? He could have been the minister if he had contested in the election. He did not contest in the election and he is not the minister now. Next sentence. The bride could have been more beautiful if she had worn the blue sari. Blue sari suits her a lot, but she selected some other colors, red or orange or something else. But if she had worn the blue sari, she could have been more beautiful, could have been past possibility. It's not possible in the future or in the present because she didn't wear the blue sari. She selected something else, some other colors. So she is not beautiful as she was expected to be. The bride could have been more beautiful if she had worn the blue sari. Let's check the next example. You could have been rich if you had won the lottery. Yes. You could have been rich if you had won the lottery, but you didn't win. He didn't win the lottery and he is not rich now. If he had won the lottery, he could have been rich, but he didn't win the lottery and he is still poor. I think now the thing is clear for you. The use of could have been. Try to create your own sentences. You'll be able to understand. In case of any doubt, please repeat or watch the video. Now let's move on to the use of would have been. We can use would have been in all the contexts where we used could have been without changing the meaning a lot. But of course, there are slight changes in the meaning when we use would have been instead of could have been in the sentences. When we speak about or when we use could have been in sentences, we are speaking about an ability in the past. An ability in the past means a possible ability. And when we use would have been, we refer to a state of being that was possible or probable in the past, a state of being. Once more, let me remind you of that. If you want to understand this video clearly, you need to understand what state of being is. And for that, you have to watch two more videos in this channel, Easy Walk to English Grammar. Uses of be in English is one of the videos, and the other video is main verb and auxiliary verb. Then you will be fantastically able to understand the topic that we deal in this video also. Let's use would have been in some sentences as we used a could have been a little before. The first sentence is, I would have been a doctor if I had studied well. We used a could have been in the same sentence a little before. And instead of could have been, we used would have been here. When we used could have been in the same sentence, we were referring to a past possible ability. When we refer to would have been, or when we used would have been in this sentence, we refer to a past possible state of being. I would have been a doctor. I cannot become a doctor. I cannot rise up to the state of being of a doctor because I did not study in the past. I would have been a doctor if I had studied well. The second sentence, I would have been rich if I had won the lottery. We used could have been in the same sentence, and as we discussed in the first sentence of this context, when we used could have been in the sentence, we were referring to a past possible ability. And when we used would have been in the present context, we are referring to a past possible state of being. I would have been rich if I had won the lottery. I did not win the lottery now, so I have to remain poor still or now. But if I had won the lottery, I would have risen up to the state of being of a rich. I would have been rich. Next sentence. I would have been an emperor if I had magical power. I would have risen up to the state of being of an emperor if I had magical power. I don't have any magical power now, and I cannot make myself to be an emperor. I would have been an emperor if I had magical power, referring to a past possible state of being. This success would have been sweeter if I had my parents near me. I succeeded in something and I'm very much happy, but I would have been even more happy or even happier if my parents were near me. Now they are not with me, they are far away. I am far away from them, and I cannot share my happiness with my parents at present. If they were near me, I would have been happier. The success would have been sweeter. It's not possible now because my parents are not with me now. They are residing somewhere far. That is the use of would have been, and that's the difference of would have been from could have been. You need to watch the video several times to understand or to overcome the complexities of the usages. To memorize the use of could have been and would have been, we can frame a formula like this, or we can create a diagram like this. Could have been states an ability, whereas would have been states a state of being. That's the difference. Hope you understood. Now let's check how we can use should have been. The first sentence is, you should have been there when the crisis occurred. Should have been there. That was your duty. That was your obligation to be there, to be present there when the crisis occurred, denoting an obligation or necessity or duty. That is the purpose of should have been. Coming to the next sentence, I should have been an IAS officer to eliminate all corruption in our nation. I am not an IAS officer now, but I should have been an IAS officer. That was my duty, that was my obligation, that was a necessity. If I had been an IAS officer, I could have eliminated all corruption in our nation. Unfortunately, I am not an IAS officer now. I should have been an obligation, a necessity, a duty that should have been in the past, that should have happened in the past. Ritu should have been a caring mother for her son to prevent him from becoming a drug addict. Ritu's son has become a drug addict now, a most dangerous situation our present generation is facing. Ritu is his mother. Ritu should have been a caring mother. She was rough to him. She was not ready to listen to what his son wanted to tell her. And he gradually turned to bad companies and became a drug addict. It was her duty, it was Ritu's duty to be a caring mother for her son. But she didn't do like that. She should have been, indicating a past necessity, obligation, or duty. Malini should have been our history teacher to avoid the monotony of the subject. History is widely treated as a boring subject because of its theoretical nature. But I don't have that opinion personally. I like history. Uh, for an example, I used it here. That's all. Malini should have been our history teacher. Malini is a good teacher. Well she knows well how to handle the history classes. She always helped her students to overcome the boredom or the monotony of the subject. But unfortunately, she is not our teacher, our history teacher this time. She should have been our history teacher, indicating a past necessity. Malini should have been our history teacher to avoid the monotony of the subject. Did you understand, my dear friends, the purpose of should have been and the difference of should have been from could have been and would have been? Please don't forget to watch the video repeatedly until you become doubt free. As we framed a diagram for could have been and would have been, we can frame a similar kind of diagram for should have been also. Should have been can be used to indicate necessity, obligation, or duty, not in the present, in the past. These necessity, obligation, and duty cannot be done or satisfied in the present or future. It should have happened in the past. That's the difference. I think you're okay with our topic today. Shall we move on to our exercise section this time? Exercise for this video. Create one sentence each using has been, have been, had been, could have been, would have been, and should have been. Means you need to write 6 sentences, and in each of these sentences, you have to use any one of these usages. First sentence, you can use has been. In the second sentence, you can use have been, and so on. Please send your answers to our comment box. The winner's name will be announced through our next video. When you send the answers, please make it sure that you have given your full name and the place where you reside. That can also be announced through the next video. It's not just participating the contest matters. When you participate in this contest, you can see or you can feel that you lose your fear to use English confidently gradually. That is why I request you to participate in this contest. If you like this video or if you have benefited from this video, please like the video and share this video with your friends and relatives and give your valuable suggestions in the comment box. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel still. While subscribing, enable the small bell icon and select option all. Then you'll receive the notification of our future videos. Thank you so much for watching the video. We'll meet with another useful video. Until then, take care and bye for now.